Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana will present the 2025 budget. He faces a slew of demands and expectations as the country navigates different challenges. Among them is the high youth unemployment rate. Business editor Xolani Mbanjwa joins us now live from the mother city. Xolani, a very good afternoon to you. A little less than an hour away from that address by Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana. What are the key budget priorities from the people that you've spoken to so far today that they are highlighting that they're expecting from the minister?
Good afternoon, Katleho. Well, there has been varying demands and expectations from various people that we've spoken to since 6 a.m. this morning, and it ranges from help for distraught municipalities who are financially distraught, including health services, making sure that wasteful expenditure is reined in. But we also spoke to Musa Maimane, the leader of Build One South Africa, who was saying this Government of National Unity Cabinet is bloated. As the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Appropriations, they've had to add 600 million rands just to satisfy this new configuration of the Government of National Unity Cabinet. There are a lot of demands in terms of making sure that the economy really grows and you rein in that particular unemployment. And we spoke to other people from the Young Communist League who are saying that do not announce any budget cuts this afternoon as the Finance Minister. He must not be taking away services that are needed by people who are the downtrodden. And that's why we're speaking right now to the Youth Capital. Nape Senong is a member of the Youth Capital, a leader there, and they are the voice of the young people in this country. And as you know, young people are the face of the unemployment in this country. They are the face of poverty together with black African women. So it's quite an important one to speak to you, Nape, this particular afternoon as we await Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's budget speech. As the youth capital, as the voice of young people in this country, what are you hoping for in the next hour that the minister focuses on that will give you some hope?
So at the Youth Capital, we are calling for a budget that focuses and centers people, particularly young people. Yesterday, the unemployment statistics were released, and again, we are reminded that we are in a crisis of unemployment that, as you mentioned, affects young people and women the most. So we're really hoping for a budget that centers the needs of young people and, particularly addresses the unemployment crisis, because we know that unemployment is the single most determining or contributor to poverty and inequality in this country. So we really hope that the minister will not just cut, we also want commitment. We want more money, more commitment towards public employment programs, a program such as the teacher assistant program that was on hold last year because of delays in funding. We lost 200,000 temporary teaching, temporary job opportunities for young people, and we really need a commitment towards programs like that so that their gains can be sustained and they are not impacted by these halts in terms of seeking more funding and the like.
Nape, let's talk about something else that is quite close to the aspirations of young people, and that is education, higher education. You're talking about NSFAS. You're talking currently, as the year begins, many university students who cannot afford higher education. Those who are lucky enough to get in do not, some of those do not have accommodation. What do you want to see on the side of education as far as young people are concerned in this budget?
So in terms of education, we are again also asking for a commitment towards funding things like NSFAS, agencies like NSFAS, because NSFAS in the previous midterm budget, we know that budgets for NSFAS and for basic education were slashed. And we know that also education is a determining factor in terms of young people's ability to find work, that young people that have gone through tertiary education are more likely to find work compared to those that haven't went through tertiary education. So I've been, as Youth Capital, we've been running a campaign called Fix NSFAS Now, hashtag Fix NSFAS Now, and I've gone around the country engaging with students. And as someone who was in the Fees Must Fall movement, it's quite appalling that 10 years later, we find ourselves in the situation that we are in again. It really just shows a lack of agency in terms of addressing some of these issues that are quite persistent. So we're hoping that the minister is going to prioritize, public spending in education and public employment programs. And also, we do not need any tax, any increases in tax, in VAT whatsoever, which we hear that might be looming.
Thank you very much, Nape Senong. Nape Senong is an advocate for youth upward mobility, an advocate for youth needs. And at Youth Capital, it's quite an important one that they have a voice in this particular budget speech by Enoch Godongwana. And he's saying that to deal with unemployment, to deal with challenges that NSFAS has, this is what they're expecting to hear from Enoch Godongwana this afternoon. But I believe my colleague Ntokozo Khumalo has the SAFTU Secretary General Zwelinzima Vavi with